Getting a job in marketing is tough, and most advice you'll hear is completely and utterly useless. Today, I'm going to show you how to land not just any job, but the one with real prospects, the one that actually sets you up for a career. Apologies, I pulled my back yesterday, so I can't sit down in the office in the normal studio, so hence I'm outside standing up in the barbecue area. I'm John Langley. I'm the founder of Click Convert Marketing. We're an agency with 20 plus Google Ads experts. Together, we've generated over 1.5 billion in sales for our clients, and that's a lot of zeros. We've got offices in Santa Rosa, that's wine country out in California, and Wrexham, home of the world famous football club owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, just down the road. So if you want the unfiltered truth about getting your first job in marketing from someone who's interviewed and trained hundreds of graduates, keep watching. Let's be honest about this. You went to university, you partied, you know it, I know it, and that's fine. But here's the reality. At a bare minimum, you now need to refresh yourself on that course. You know all the stuff you were supposed to learn, the lessons you were meant to go to, the lectures, you're going to get asked about them. Think about it. What else are employers going to ask you as a graduate about? How to cook a pizza? No, they're going to ask you about that course. So come on, brush up on it. So what type of marketing do you want to do? Marketing isn't one thing. There's social media, there's paid ads, there's SEO, there's print, there's content, blah, 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 PR, graphic design, and even admin and client management roles. Most of you are going to say social media. But let's be brutally honest. Social media takes real talent. Creating genuinely engaging content is hard. In all likelihood, you're going to end up doing parts of the role, maybe graphics, maybe helping with a copy, not coffee, while others conceive the campaigns. Okay, you could go into print and design. That includes websites, branding and graphic design. But you're not a designer, so that's probably not for you. There's SEO, content and paid ads. These are more technical. SEO is a longer term strategy. Content, copywriting, blogs and articles. But paid ads, Google, Meta, TikTok, that's numbers, testing and optimization. And don't forget, marketing isn't about just doing marketing. There are admin, client-facing roles too, planning campaigns, monitoring progress, and being the bridge between the client and the account executives. That can be highly paid too. Which brings me to communication. If you're in a client-facing role, you need to be confident, knowledgeable, and a problem solver. You cannot hide behind emails and chat messages like you've done in uni. And if you're not confident as a communicator, honestly, avoid any agency roles. Agencies are fast-paced, client-driven, and you need to be comfortable talking directly to people. So choose a marketing path that suits your strengths. Okay, the big one. The truth about money in marketing. I'll be real. You want a job because you want money, and the closer your role is to sales, the more money you'll make. Social media often isn't close to the money unless you're really talented. General marketing, say at a supermarket, hotel, or a brand, isn't close either. Salaries in these roles don't tend to jump dramatically. But agencies like mine, Google Ads agency, we're directly tied to sales. We deliver measurable revenue for our clients. That's why we get paid. The flip side, it's not easy. Clients expect results and quickly, and if you don't get them, they can get very arsy with you very quickly because they're paying you to do a job you're supposed to deliver on. So, if you want an easy ride, Google Ads isn't it. But if you want a high value skill and a real career with prospects, Google Ads is where you might want to look. Okay, my perspective as an employer. Let's flip it round a bit. You need to understand this from my or the employer side. Hiring you is expensive. At a minimum, you're going to cost 25 to 30,000 a year once you factor in salary, desks, software, overheads. And in your first 2 or 3 months, you will not generate a penny of revenue. You have to I have to put a highly skilled member of staff, take them away from client work to train you. And that's a huge risk for us. And it doesn't stop there. Employers need to multiply your salary by 3 times just to break even. If you're on 27,000, the business has probably got to generate around 80,000 of revenue just to cover your costs. But where does that revenue come from? It comes from clients. Those clients are really, really expensive to win. sales teams, marketing budgets, persuading them to take a risk on your agency, it all adds up. And if you can't deliver, we don't just lose your salary, we risk losing the client too. And that's why employers test you. That's why they ask for projects. Not because they're trying to exploit you, because it's risky and they need to know that you're worth investing in. Okay, what do employers really value? Let's get straight into this. Your degree doesn't prepare you for the real world. Employers value attitude, problem solving, and evidence that you've gone further than the other candidates. So my advice is read at least 2 books before you even write the CV. And these books are quite simple. They're $100 million offers by Alex Hormozy, and they're Alchemy by Rory Sutherland. It's the one with the gold cover. These 2 books will give you insights into marketing and psychology that most graduates don't have. You'll walk into the interview able to hold a proper conversation about what really drives marketing success. And remember, that puts you ahead of 90% of your competition. So, we're now going to build a killer CV. Start with a brain dump. That you're hardworking, dedicated, you've got good timekeeping, problem solving, and that's your first intro. Back it up with other jobs you've done. Anything that shows your reliability and discipline. But don't stop there. This is marketing. You need a hook. List your favourite marketing books. List the YouTube channels you follow. Show me that you love marketing. And here's the killer. Once you've got all this detail together, run your CV through ChatGPT. Tell it the role you're applying for. Tell it to rewrite your draft cleanly with no typos and in professional English. That's how you make your CV stand out. So let's assume you've got the CV in, it's all gone fine, you've got to the interview. Okay? Sending in your CV isn't enough. You have to follow up. Life gets in the way. People forget to call you back. It's not on them. You want this job, so it's up to you to chase it. Ring up, say, hey, did you get my CV? Have you had a look at it? Is there any feedback? Can I come in for a chat? Compared to everybody else who's just fired off their application on LinkedIn, you look smart, keen and hardworking. And if you're not sure how to do this, for Christ's sake, use YouTube again. Watch some sales videos. Learn how to follow up professionally. It will make you stand out. Okay, how do you make your interview a success and how do you find the right fit? We've got this interview. Now's the time not to blow it. Know the course you did. Be ready to talk about the modules, your likes and dislikes of the course. Okay, show that you are a marketer that thinks. Dress smart. Okay, don't go and put on a lounge suit or anything. Admittedly, normally you can't overdress, okay, but you can underdress. When you're in the interview, listen carefully, answer calmly. And if you don't know the answer to something, say so. That honesty proves you won't blag your way into a mistake that could cost the agency thousands or hundreds of thousands, and I've seen that before now. So let me be honest, I've interviewed and I've trained hundreds of trainees here at Click Convert Marketing, and what I really don't want is a bad fit. Your first employer in the world of marketing is going to become a big part of your life. The people you meet, either here or another agency, are going to become your friends. So ask a little about the social life. Be careful, don't overdo it. You're trying to prove yourself as a candidate. But be realistic. If your main focus in life is political or social issues, maybe DEI, LGBT activism, then aim for employers that reflect that. Charities, public sector, big corporates. Small businesses aren't against your beliefs, but they don't have the resources to build the frameworks around them. Their focus is revenue and delivery. And so be honest. Pick the right type of employer for you. Above all, don't try and outsmart the interviewer, okay? Show that you're hardworking, reliable, and take pride in finishing that job properly. I would add in on that though, if you're going into an interview for marketing and you seem to know more about marketing than the employer on your first role, then maybe I might have another look at that employer and question it. Proving yourself without being exploited. Ignore all the LinkedIn moaners. Employers are not exploiting you. They're going to test your thinking. No one is going to hand the type of proposal you do for a job interview for a client, okay? They're just not going to do it. But equally, don't go burn hundreds of hours on it. Realistically, you should only ever have to have one or two of these presentations. And if you're doing more and never winning these job roles, then you're missing something and you need to start asking some questions. So what I would advise you to do when you're asked to do a presentation, I would do something called an upfront contract. Okay, you're going to do the project, they're going to review it. Okay, ask what date we're going to do this on. Ask when a decision is going to be made. And if you don't get the job, ask them that, will you give me constructive feedback on my presentation? That's fair. It shows that you're professional, and employers are looking for that. Accepting the job and surviving your first role. Okay, don't go saying, oh, I'll think about it, or I've got another job offer. Just say yes on the spot. It shows that you are somebody who can make decisions under pressure. Okay, if it doesn't feel right after a week, fine. Be honest, tell the employer, and leave before it gets too expensive for you and them. But your first objective is simple. Get into the industry. Once you're in, you can make smarter choices later on. And once you started, know this, the first 6 months are going to be the hardest. You're going to be learning fast, you're going to be under pressure, there's lots of new software, there's lots of new systems, there's lots of new strategies and marketing concepts that you're going to have to learn. But please don't expect hand-holding. Don't expect fun every day. Employers want reliable. They want organisation. They want problem solving. Okay, here, I'm a bit of an odd organisation. I want us to be hard-working, I want to be dedicated, I want us to deliver results for clients, and I want it to be a little bit of a fun culture as well. So, if you do get stuck, ask the employer. Don't hide problems from the employer. Stick up your hand and ask, okay, I've got a problem here, what do I do? They're more than willing to help you, okay? What you've got to watch out for is don't keep asking the same question time and time again. That will raise a red flag to the employer, and in truth, you should have learned how to solve that problem by now. In the initial period, you're not being judged on your brilliance. You're being judged more than whether you show up, communicate, learn, and make life easier for your manager. Do that and you'll progress in your career. My final thoughts, okay, on your future in marketing. People will tell you to always take notes. Personally, I don't. I've got a good memory and I'll force myself to remember by not taking notes. It sticks in my head. Notes can sometimes go into that notebook and they just disappear and you never remember them and you never look at them again here. But here's the bigger point. This industry changes constantly. The tools you use today will look different in 6 months' time. So it's not just about taking notes. You've got to get to grips with this rapidly changing industry. You've got to become excellent at AI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Google AI Studio. These are your future. The past wasn't AI, but the future is. And the real skill isn't just about having answers these days, it's knowing the right questions to ask and interpreting the results that AI can often give you. Finally, if you're applying to Click Convert and you watch this video, you're already ahead of the game. Don't walk into an interview unprepared. Remember, if you follow the advice here, you'll sail through. And there you are. Welcome to the world of marketing, and I genuinely hope you have a fantastic career. Until next time, bye.